answers, whatever. Okay? I'll ask the question, and I think if you can remain seated, we'll be fine. Okay? The first question is, do you support returning public employees to a defined benefit retirement program? Okay, thank you. Question number 2. Do you support funding the Anchorage School District to the limit allowed by the tax cap? Okay, thank you. Question number 3. Do you support using any public money for non-public charter schools? Should I say that one again?
Non-public?
Do you support using any public money for non-public charter schools? Okay, thank you. Question number 4. Do you think the Anchorage School District should outsource any work currently done by ASD employees? Okay, thank you. And the last question. Given recent events, such as the shooting in Littleton, Colorado this week, do you support keeping the SRO program, the School Resource Officer program, in ASD schools at its current level or better? Thank you very much. Okay, if you remember at the beginning where I explained this, what we're going to do is start with the school board candidates. All of the candidates, for the audience's information, all the candidates have these questions in front of them, but we're going to ask the school board question 1, and we will do it randomly as far as the answers go, okay? The question number 1 for the school board candidates is, do you support tying educational staff pay to student performance? Why or why not? And the first one will be Mr. O'Malley. I'll repeat the question. Do you support tying educational staff pay to student performance? Why or why not?
That's a really hard question because it doesn't say anything how they measure student performance. I know that the union has been against merit pay for a really long time. Right now, principals get a extra award the more programs that you guys have going in their schools, Category A and Category B. I think that the district ought to be paid more for student performance. If the student perform better, then the district might get more money. If the students don't perform better, like we don't have any more than a 65% graduation rate, then we ought to really look at that.
Thank you. Next person will be Mr. Griffin.
I'm sorry about that. I'll use the microphone from now on. I thought my booming voice would be able to project to the back there, but I overestimated myself again. Yeah, I'm in favor of merit pay. I support Barack Obama's initiative in this particular area. I'm an unabashed capitalist, and I think that performance pay is that spur that's necessary to create better performance. That's pure and simple. That I'm a longtime member of the AFL-CIO. In my current occupation, there is no merit pay, and that's kind of discouraging sometimes. That again, I'm unabashed capitalist. I think merit pay is a great idea. Somebody wants to work a little harder and has the talent, the God-given talent to do something about it, or to contribute more. They should be compensated more.
Thank you. The next speaker will be Ms. Mackey.
Thank you. I think that merit pay is something that can really be unfair if it's not done in the correct way. And so far, I don't know of anything that's been proposed to make this happen in an equitable way. I do definitely support exploring this more. And I would also like to look at maybe supporting some extra pay for teachers to be able to keep them in maybe some lower performing schools and schools that are in less desirable areas. I would think that I would like to explore that.
Thank you. The next speaker is Mr. LaBelle.
I would agree that measuring success from one school to another, from one teacher to another, is very difficult to do. We haven't seen a model that currently works that I would be in favor of. Until we get to that point, I would not support it, only unless it was part of the collective bargaining process. And in that manner, I would definitely support it.
Thank you. Mr. Smith.
Well, like Jim, I see it as a very, very difficult item to measure. In concept, I support it. I think the idea of being able to compensate that excellent teacher, that just getting the kids all fired up and doing wonderful things is a way to go. But I have not, in my mind, figured out how you would create a measurable device that would give you that. But I do think that good teachers should be compensated for being a good teacher.
Thank you. And Mr. Neese.
Kind of had it figured out I'd be the last one. It's kind of a double-edged sword. You could probably institute it with a regular salary and then maybe a percentage that you get above the regular salary if your kids are performing and they make more than a year gain in your classroom. I've taught everything from remedial math to gifted math. Yeah, you feel like you're a great teacher if you got the gifted math class, kids are humming along, everything's going great, they make a lot of progress. You're at a slight disadvantage if you get the remedial class because your measurement of progress has to be completely different. So it's what you get in and what you get out, I think, is probably what you have to look at. So I'd be against it if it was the only salary. I'd be for it if it was salary plus.
Thank you. Now for our first question for our assembly candidates. The question is going to be, in the last budget for the city adopted by the assembly, the library budget was cut even though